The Haunting of Room 213, an in-depth analysis of a paranormal encounter. Good evening and welcome back to our channel, where we delve deep into the unexplained. Tonight, we bring you a chilling tale that not only unsettles the soul, but challenges the very foundations of our understanding of reality. This is The Haunting of Room 213. It was a stormy night on October 13th, when I found myself driving through the remote regions of Transylvania. The rain hammered down with an intensity measured at over 50 millimeters per hour, according to the local meteorological data. Visibility was less than 100 meters, and the clock had just struck midnight. Suddenly, through the sheets of rain, the silhouette of an old hotel emerged. Its Gothic Revival architecture was reminiscent of the late 19th century, characterized by pointed arches, vaulted ceilings, and an abundance of gargoyles, a textbook example for architectural enthusiasts. Inside, time seemed to have paused. The receptionist, an elderly woman, greeted me without the warmth one might expect. Her eyes, a pale gray, avoided direct contact, a behavior often associated with deceit or hiding information, according to behavioral psychology studies. She hesitated before giving me the key to room 213. The number itself is interesting. In numerology, 2113 reduces to 6, 2 plus 1 plus 3, a number often associated with harmony, but also with the uncanny balance between good and evil. As I made my way to the room, the corridor lights flickered erratically. Studies in environmental psychology suggest that such lighting can induce feelings of discomfort and anxiety, perhaps an intentional design to unnerve guests. The portraits were particularly unsettling. A 2012 study on eye movement and perception indicated that certain artistic techniques can make painted eyes appear to follow observers, enhancing the feeling of being watched. The room was a preservation of antiquity. Dust-covered furniture dated back to the Victorian era, circa 1840s, verified by the craftsmanship and materials used. The large window offered a view of a dense forest composed predominantly of European beech trees, known locally for their connection to folklore and mysticism. Almost immediately, I felt cold spots, areas where the temperature inexplicably dropped, a common indicator in paranormal investigations, often measured using infrared thermography. That night, I experienced REM sleep disturbances. My dreams were lucid, yet fragmented, featuring scenes of the hotel trapping its guests. Such dreams could be attributed to environmental factors affecting sleep cycles, but the content was alarmingly specific. I awoke abruptly. The digital clock flashed 3:13 a.m., a time that, interestingly, has been reported in various case studies as the devil's hour. Researchers have noted a spike in paranormal reports during this time frame. Upon inspection, I found scratches on the inside of the door. The markings were approximately 2 millimeters deep and spaced evenly apart, suggesting they were not random but rather deliberate. The next morning, I sought out the receptionist, but she was nowhere to be found. Other staff members exhibited avoidant behavior, a phenomenon that can be linked to group secrecy or collective trauma responses, as documented in social psychology. Back in room 213, a loose floorboard caught my attention. Underneath lay a journal dated 1893. The entries detailed eerily similar experiences, including cold spots, whispering voices, and the sensation of being watched. Determined to uncover the truth, I visited the local archives. Historical records revealed that the hotel was built over a site dating back to the 15th century, a location once used for occult gatherings, according to documents from the Inquisition records. The locals were reluctant to speak. However, an elderly man shared legends of the land being cursed after the infamous witch trials of 1462, during which over 50 individuals were executed unjustly. Such mass trauma can, according to some theories in parapsychology, leave a residual energy imprint. The phenomena intensified. Objects moved with no apparent force applied, an example of psychokinesis if following parapsychological definitions. Infrared cameras I set up captured shadows that did not correspond to any physical object in the room. At one point, the room's dimensions seemed to alter, a spatial distortion that defies the principles of Euclidean geometry. The door and windows became unresponsive, exhibiting rigidity inconsistent with their material properties. Drawing upon the rituals described in the journal, which referenced ancient Enochian language, a constructed language recorded in the private journals of John Dee and his colleague Edward Kelly in the late 16th century. I prepared a counter ritual. During the ritual, electromagnetic field (EMF) detectors spiked dramatically, exceeding 100 milligauss, levels significantly higher than the ambient background. The temperature dropped to near freezing points despite the heating system functioning normally. The ritual seemed to disrupt the entity's hold. The door that was previously immovable now gave way with a force of approximately 30 newtons, a manageable effort. I seized the moment to escape. As I navigated the corridors, they appeared non-Euclidean, twisting in ways that challenge our understanding of three-dimensional space. It's as if the hotel's layout had become a hyperbolic plane. With pathways collapsing and no viable exit in sight, I broke a window, a double-glazed pane surprisingly brittle under stress, and leaped from the second floor. The fall was approximately 6 meters, and I landed on damp soil, mitigating potential injuries according to impact force calculations. As dawn broke, I noticed the hotel looked abandoned. The architectural features were dilapidated, inconsistent with the building I had entered. This temporal dislocation raises questions aligned with theories of time slips or parallel dimensions. I reported the incident to local authorities. However, records showed that the hotel had been closed since 1953 after a fire, a fact corroborated by historical incident reports. The site where the hotel stood was nothing more than an overgrown lot. This experience challenges conventional understanding across multiple disciplines: physics, psychology, and history. It suggests the possibility of residual energies or interdimensional phenomena, topics currently explored in advanced theoretical physics and quantum mechanics. Even now, I can't shake the feeling of being watched. Just last night, at precisely 3:13 a.m., I heard a whisper identical to the ones in room 213. It seems the entity may have attached itself, a concept known as spiritual hitchhiking in paranormal studies. What do you think? Could this be a case of mass hallucination, a convergence of scientific anomalies, or something beyond our current comprehension? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of the unexplained. Stay curious and stay cautious.